just got our seed in from WHS. Excited to be trying some new stuff this year. So I was gonna open up some of these boxes and go through a little bit about what I'm using and why, anything different, maybe some new tests. It'll be a lot of fun, something to follow along with the rest of the year. So I'm gonna get this phone set up and we'll start opening up. Thought I'd mention too, when you see my house a mess or laundry baskets around, maybe I'm wearing something weird, like I'm in my slippers now. It's because I don't really dress up or anything for these videos, so hope you guys don't take offense to that, but I like to get these done as often as I can for you, so you get the real deal. Let's get some of these open. All right, guys, so I will say that the packaging and everything came back amazing. I mean, I don't think there is literally a seed that came out of these bags flying around in boxes and stuff like that, because one, I think you can probably tell over the last few videos, I try and be very organized. I try and get this stuff early. I mean, remember the last couple of years, even getting our herbicides in was difficult. We were paying a premium with the supply issues, and some places were even just sold out. So want to have things ready, and I've been expressing that quite a bit. But getting our seed in here a month or two early before we get into kind of those last frost days, we get into late April, early May, and then even with like buckwheat or a summer plow down blend, which is kind of one of Jeff's new blends, won't even be planting until probably, early June or after, Memorial Day. So we can make sure that no frost is going to kill that. But anyways, I love the fact that these are packaged very nicely. You can see some of the other bags like this. They're awesome. They got all the info on here and the brief descriptions and the specifics as well. Additionally, some instruction sheets, which is great. There is one for the Brassica blend and one for the Power Green blend, which is awesome. So you guys are ready to go there. And then even on some of the bags for the other, quantities that might be a little bit smaller, you can see actually in the bag itself, we have some more instructions and stuff. And I will say that, a lot of times, guys, we get additional questions, which even if you put in the keywords into YouTube and search, not only are Jeff's gonna come up, but he probably has hundreds of videos on each different topic. So if you're having trouble with that, or one of the guys are too busy, I mean, we have a pretty good team now, so you're able to get a hold of someone, and we have Wes as well, so welcome to him. And he's able to answer a lot of those questions when we're out traveling. But that information, for the most part, is readily available for you at any time, so don't forget that. I remember Jeff coming to my farm, I had this just list of a couple of additional questions after kind of piecing many of the processes together for the different seeds, what to spray, when to plant, and that kind of stuff. But back to the seed. So the other nice thing and why I'm bringing it up, it's packaging and things like that. Not only does it look nice and travel nice, of course, but we need to store it, right? Seed lasts, I feel, typically better than most people think, even if you're gonna hold it for a year or two. But it should be in kind of a cool, non-wet, not like super humid area. I like to keep mine in the basement. We have a dehumidifier or a humidifier running, depending on the season, of course. I'll put it on a shelf so that it's not on the ground. If we should happen to get some moisture, something backs up a drainage in the basement or something like that, out of the sunlight. And I've used stuff for the following year and it's been perfectly fine. So it's nice that I can carry these boxes down. And in my case, again, because I don't live on the farm, I'm not gonna make a mess everywhere. I remember carrying 12 to 16 different bags of buckwheat, and there would be buckwheat seeds scattered throughout the house and things like that. So I appreciate, what I'm seeing here. So they did a great job. So what do we have? What do we have in these boxes? What are we going to be doing this year that you guys are going to be able to follow along with us? So I think I mentioned these two bigger bags are the Power Greens and the Big Boost Brassica. So the Big Boost Brassica, this is a 24 pound bag, and that'll plant, I believe, 3 acres or so. And I'm still going to be doing pretty much that half and half method. If you guys remember, or you can go way back a couple of years and watch my initial strategy that Jeff gave me and kind of the layout. And I'm tweaking things here and there just for fun and trial and error and kind of patterning the deer and where they come out, little things like that, which I give to you guys the things that I'm doing. But a lot of them are linear, you know, style plots out to the holding plot. And so the half and half kind of method works very well. So the deer are able to, you know, being selective feeders, pick and choose what they want to eat and still follow my plots without, you know, being at one end of the plot for one food and being at the complete other end of a plot for another food, which is kind of a disservice to us because we already have the challenge of hunting where the wind is favorable and stuff like that. And so having the same food types throughout is very beneficial for us. So that bag's nice right there because you get 3 acres. So especially for people, I know brassica is a pretty common seed, you're able to grab that 24-pound bag, throw it on the ATV, and go do quite a bit of walking and planting just with that alone, if you have trouble with access or equipment and getting to your plot. The next big bags here are our power greens. Fall power green blend has, you know, a bunch of different great stuff. Peas, a little bit of buckwheat, oats, things like that. It'll be a nice, again, variety, give them kind of something throughout the season. It is also the side where you are able to layer your winter rye, whether it's just kind of one layer after things have been germinating for a little bit, you know, 4 or 5 weeks, or you want to do different layerings with the rye. I've been to already numerous properties, a lot of properties for whatever reason so far this year have very high deer numbers. You know, certain areas do, certain areas is not as much of a concern depending on how much also food you're planting. But if you need to, you're able to, you know, put down 50 to 100 pounds per acre of the winter rye, maybe 75, 100 pounds per acre. And then, you know, 2 weeks later, do it again, 2 weeks later, or doing it again, especially if you're having trouble with your deer numbers and they are just mowing things down and can't keep up. At least gives you something green going into the hunting season, which we're saying, you know, pretty often. And some of those comments, even about the winter rye, are at the bottom of this sheet. So you're getting, you know, a nice good list of stuff to look for right there when you get it. So those are the 2 main food plots. I'm going to be, you know, using that plow down blend that Jeff came out with, maybe depending on where I'm driving, if I'm picking up some additional buckwheat or other, you know, making my own little mix. We're pretty much of the same stuff anyway. If need be, I'll use that to get, you know, some additional organic matter and things like that into the soil so that we can keep raising our pH. We put lime down in the fall, if you guys remember, had the farmer give me a hand with his, you know, tractor and pulling one of those, I don't know if it would have been like a 10-ton, something like that, trailer, and spreading some lime. So all that should be taking effect now as we get into this summer. So from the late 5s, you know, that's another good reminder. I should do a soil test, bring that to you guys, because a few years ago we were in the high 5s, and I would love to see the difference. And they're so cheap to do and fun. So we will bring that to you as well. So additionally, what else do we got going on? First time using this new pollinator blend that they came out with. This is stuff, guys, where it's not just solely for deer, but butterflies, birds, bees, rabbits, pheasants, all this cool stuff. I'd love to have some pheasants on the property one day, even if I had to like drop a group off, or I don't know what you would call a group of pheasants. A flock, maybe? Anyway, you know, get some dropped in, and with all the different, you know, I planted 12 to 14 acres of switchgrass, things like that. Now it's you know, a good stand, so they'd have plenty of room to be around. I see a lot more rabbits around and things like that. So I think this will be a great complement, especially in some of the areas where I don't have the switch. It will be more internal of the property, so not just all of the trees and shrubs and the added bedding that I've spoke about in the last few videos, but this can be some other added food and some different broadleafs and things of that nature that I want to mix in with there, right? Because like we talk about, we don't just want side cover that is non-edible for the deer. We want them to have stuff that they can feel comfortable. They can have their daylight movement on your property so that they're going to be encompassing the majority of their movement, and when we're hunting, of course, but they need food for that as well. Those are the reasons, and some of the reasons why they are picking those areas. They don't need to go far. So I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch that grow. Doesn't plant, you know, this is a smaller bag. They do have a larger bag. So I have a few of these, quite as much area as it does for these other food plots like the brassica seed and stuff. But it says, you know, 5 pounds of it would plant a half acre. So you can kind of pick out some different spots that you think would be nice. And if you're one that likes to improve all the wildlife, I think that's a great option for you. And then lastly for this year, we have the northern variety of the switch. the switchgrass permacover, we call it. This stuff, you can see it is really pure seed, lots of soft seed. Super excited to try this. I've done the majority, you know, according to Jeff's plan, the majority of the switchgrass plantings that needed to be done. So with this, I'm hoping to do, you know, bring you guys something different, do some trial and error, maybe use the drill, maybe not. You know, before I frost seeded everything, and you can see those videos and look those up previously. So maybe, you know, we're gonna use just spraying and drill it in or broadcast it in. Now, one thing I'm gonna be kind of testing and bringing to you guys, and I'm gonna be very clear about this, you know, I did not get to do any simazine, okay, our pre-emergent, which is what we would normally spray before spring green up for switchgrass and such, and that is not what we recommend. We always want you to use that simazine to set back those weeds. My property is just too wet right now. I probably would just get stuck. Wouldn't even be able to have the opportunity to drive through the area, and even if I did, it would cause such a mess that anything, even walking it after, there'd be such ruts, I'd probably break my ankle. So that's gonna be a little bit troublesome. And again, we do not recommend that for anyone, not spraying the simazine. We want you to do that. We want you to prep it as much as possible. But now that we have Jeff's awesome seed blend, I'm thinking with there being so much soft seed, if we can really chemically control it as we get into the summer and get that barren, and mind you, this used to be a farm field where I'm gonna be using kind of this perimeter edge for this switch. So the weeds are already, you know, there's no thatch on the ground and things like that. I think we have a chance of doing this fairly well and still getting a great stand. For sure, probably if we were drilling, but even if we don't, you know, how much can we push this for you guys that maybe have the same issues as I, and you know, decide to broadcast it. You don't have access to a drill, all these different things. How far can we push the seed and still get a good stand? So it might not be an exact reflection, because when we visit clients, when we talk to you guys on our YouTube channels and things like that, we, you know, expressly say that we want you to follow all these steps, and for the best stand, that's what you should do, or it could be a waste of money. But I do want to kind of push this, give it a trial and error, and see how it does. And I'll take you kind of through the stages, and we can talk a little bit about how that might differ from when I frost seeded. You know, is it as good, better, worse, things of that nature, and just go from there. There is a lot of soft seed again in these blends, which is awesome because it might not take as long for it to germinate, right? So if I get the seed on the ground, we have good rain coming, and I've taken care of the weeds as best as I can, and I'll show you guys how that looks, then we should still get most of that seed germinating right away and starting to outcompete that weeds. We can mow after, and so on. So I'm not gonna reiterate the whole entire process, but that is some of the plan for this year, guys. So I hope I kind of gave you a brief overview about what we're gonna be doing, what I have and just got in. So I'm gonna store this again. I'm gonna get our plow down, our other buckwheat or whatever blends going here, probably in early June. I'll keep going with you guys step by step, everything that I do. So hope you enjoyed. Again, feel free to subscribe if you wanna follow along, and we'll see you guys next time.